And now also, I was just reminded, one of the most powerful, and if I'm not thinking it's been confirmed, gender fluid characters, and as far as their preference, the God of Mischief himself, who was just given a show on Disney. You know him. You love him. His name is Loki.
Yo, superb.
Fantastic. Let's do it. You're right.
We need to
Exactly.
dive in.
Fucking gender fluid Loki just had his
None of us picked him,
premiere.
though, which is crazy.
You're right. Exactly.
And by the way, which just real quick, if just another, and he's another being who just loves, because in the comics, I mentioned this before in season 1, Hela is not his sister. Hela is his daughter, and I think her mom is a dragon.
Of course.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's another Asgardian woman.
It doesn't get more Asgardian than that, man. Fuck, man. Shit. A dragon.
Yeah, so he just loves. But yeah, dude, I give that shit a 10. Let's go into it. But yeah, I give it a 10. It was off the hook. I fucking loved it.
LoZ Reviews.
I know, right? Let's chill. All right, slow down. We're gonna do LoZ reviews for Loki, and obviously for fans out there, it's gonna be a spoiler fucking rific a review.
Oh, spoiler alert here.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
So you were saying, Ches, you give it a 10.
Yeah, I give it a 10. I was hyped. The shit, like I was blown the fuck away. And just on a quick side note, I usually don't call out any sources or anything like that. I forgot who it was. It was one of the big reporting websites in our like super nerdy biome. I think it was either IGN or comicbook.com, but I think it was IGN. They give this show a 7. I mean, the episode of 7.
Yeah, it was IGN. Mm-hmm.
And mind you, it was based. Okay, so the show was based on time travel, right? The review literally said that it depends too much on clips from past movies. That makes no fucking sense. The whole premise of the show is like you get what I'm trying to say, right? Like I read that, I've been fuming about that. It makes no sense.
You know, IGN guy, we invite you to come on our show and offer a rebuttal to Ches.
Facts.
That'd be awesome.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Yo, I would love. I'm gonna double check and see if it's the same reviewer for the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I hated that. There also was like they gave him like a 6 or a 5 or something.
Man, that's what it deserved.
Yo, shut up.
Like, all right, can I go next?
Wait, but yeah, let's not get into Falcon and Winter Soldier. Stay within Loki. All right.
I wasn't gonna go into that though. No, I'm just saying. No. I'm just okay. The reason why I'm talking about like, you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier and even maybe WandaVision is because this is the first show that truly feels like a Marvel movie. Word. It's an hour long, and honestly, to me, it was a movie, and not just that, but a sequel to Endgame, which is so far the MCU's magnus opus, right? And I mean, Infinity War, maybe Iron Man 1, the first Avengers, a lot of great films, right? But come on, Endgame. That to me, that was just like masterful in its execution and the way it highlighted all the characters. So yeah, there was time fuckery in that movie, and a post Avengers 1 Loki gets his hands on the cosmic cube in a hilarious way, and I actually appreciated seeing those scenes again. Even though like the cameras were less HD for those scenes, so apparently there's cooler fucking cameras. Well, it was
a long ass time. It was 2012, dude.
Wait for
but that Avengers, scene was from the film, right?
Damn, so it goes to show how fast shit progresses, man. That's
yeah, right, exactly.
No, but that's a good point. You're right. Before we go into the full review, exactly. So tell us what more happens on the show, right? What is it about?
So then he gets the cosmic cube, and because of that, he gets transported to some random point in time in a random place. I don't remember what it was.
It was in Mongolia for whatever reason.
Hilarious. Okay, first of all, Tom Hiddleston destroys this episode from start to finish. Facts. My God, I didn't even know I missed him so much. But yeah, so you know he transports to a different time and place, and that's when the TVA. Right, I'm not fucking up this acronym.
Nope. TVA, right. The Time Variant Authority.
Right, which is an awesome scene and almost a Star Wars-esque scene, just come out and like these like troopers apprehend him, and they take him to this very bureaucratic court system, kind of like Beetlejuice. What was that weird like dimension in Beetlejuice?
Yeah, wasn't it
when people
purgatory?
died.
Wasn't it
Yeah,
purgatory?
purgatory.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking. I was actually thinking about the movie with Brendan Fraser and that animated monkey. With Whoopi Goldberg that she plays death.
Yeah,
Monkey Bone.
Yeah, yeah.
Monkey Bone. Yeah,
Shit, deep cut.
So
Deep cut.
so Loki is a variant. He like is existing in this weird. He branched away from the natural flow of time, as per the Time Lords, which are giant space lizards or some shit. Yeah. So and the MCU expands in this one episode in a crazy way. They just blow it open again in the way that Guardians of the Galaxy kind of does. So basically he's into this, like he's a variant and he must be dealt with. Enter is that
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Right?
Pleasant
Wait,
surprise.
which one is the one on Stargirl?
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yo, they're making money.
Yeah, one is Marvel, one is DC.
Wait, has that happened yet? Has that happened yet? They're the first brothers, right? The only ones.
Yo, and he's great. So he's like an agent.
I like it. Yeah, word.
Yeah, actually, I think doesn't the show open where he's like investigating a murder, a murder of TVA agents, and he's like a detective kind of deal,
right? Like in medieval times or something.
Yeah,
too, right?
Where I think it was like in 1884 or some shit like that. But it's like they try to feed into the Mephisto bullshit.
Word.
Maybe.
Exactly. There's this scene exactly at the beginning, you're right, or at least at the first time we see Luke Wilson investigating this death in a church. I thought medieval, but you're right, maybe not that old, but in the past, and they find it's in France, and they find this little kid, and they, the kid has gum and shit, so obviously he's been in contact with the time variant that they're hunting. And they ask like the kid, right? Like, who did this? Who all the shit. And he points to this, ¿cómo se dice? The glass thing from the churches. What's that called? The
stained glass.
Yeah,
stained glass. Yeah, right. It was something something like that. Where it's the devil, right? And so obvious for all of us, it's like, oh, motherfuckers, Mephisto. Like, really, you're immediately bringing that up, like that image to us, and so that's kind of like where people might think Mephisto, because then Luke Wilson says something to the she says something like, don't worry, that devil's more afraid of us than we are of him. And so it's like, oh, all right, well, we'll see what's up with that. But then what else happens in the show?
Yeah, I didn't really get a Mephisto vibe, but what does Loki become? Mephisto?
It's a devil. What are you not?
It's literally a devil on a church window. Like, what?
How did you not get Mephisto? Like, what did you think?
Yeah,
because
nah, that's just like a scene.
All right.
If there was like,
they're gonna keep trolling us, man.
But out of everything we've seen on Disney Plus, if this is the one time somebody like, it was the devil on the drawing.
Yo, Kevin Feige is still trolling y'all. Look, y'all still looking for Mephisto in places he is not, or is he?
No,
the most pointing to a devil. Loved it. But yeah, all right, continue.
Kevin Feige, bro, he's brilliant, and he really. I mean, again, there's a whole creative team behind this show, and they all fucking nail it. So yeah, he basically he needs to recruit this time variant Loki to stop another time variant Loki, who's apparently, like he's survived the TVA. He hasn't been like eliminated from time and space. Well, so they make it seem right.
Well, and just to point it out exactly, you just skipped a bunch, because that's the big reveal at the end, right? Because Loki's struggling to be like, I'm not a variant, I choose my own path, and then slowly coming to terms with seeing, because then he gets to see his whole life that we've seen in movies.
Oscar, give him an Oscar for that.
Yeah, so I was saving that for the review part, but go ahead.
What is this?
No. I meant like for us really break down the show and like talk about what we liked about it. But yeah, that's a synopsis. That's out of the way.
You're right.
Yes, the process of this Loki like discovering like what happened to his actual timeline self, who we see end in Infinity War, and all this shit. Like I loved it. I thought he like I said, he nailed every scene. The whole episode was great. I'll think about my rating, but you guys go ahead.
I think just for the fans out there right now, if you're listening to us right now, wherever you get your podcast, you guys, go to YouTube, and you'd see that Ches just switched to green to match the fucking Loki green right now.
Facts. And that's because I give it a 10. Unlike our last episode, which was Jupiter's Legacy, I will only talk about shows in their appropriate rating light. Loki was the shit. When he saw his own death, he deserves a fucking Oscar for that. Dude, like the range on this, like it's crazy. Like it's crazy how much effort. I don't know if it's because he's just so talented that it's so easy for him, or if he puts that much fucking effort into playing the role. Like he really takes that shit seriously.
He's also actually, I was surprised to see at the end when they roll the credits, he's one of the producers. And I think he's one of the executive producers. So, he cares about this character, you know? Like, he's really fucking invested in it from a character standpoint, actor, and financially, because he's fucking putting in money to make the show.
It's one of those situations where he's the first live action incarnation and he's good at it. Own the shit. Don't do the fucking what's this dude's name? Tobey Maguire, that he didn't want to do the rest of the Spider-Man movies. Like these dudes now, when they get a character, they're like, nah, I'm gonna retire off this shit.
Yo, that's why I love Tom Holland. Tom Holland said, like, yo, I would be Spider-Man till I can't, you know, like he's down. Tobey Maguire, man. The fuck, bro.
Tom Holland's gonna be Spider-Man so long he might have a psychotic break and actually think he's Spider-Man.
all right.
Have you seen his workout videos? He basically is becoming Spider-Man.
Yes.
Word.
All right, so okay. So Chess gave it a 10. Rod gave his thoughts so far, but haven't given a number. All right, my turn to give a review. My thoughts. This is I want to say this is actually why I love you guys. I love the show because we have different points of views.
Better watch your fucking mouth.
I was very underwhelmed with the show. I agreed with the IGN review. Like I was expecting a lot more because first of all, it seemed like, for example, Marvel has this show called Marvel. Legends, right? Exactly, where they do this whole review of like, because we saw the recap for Wanda, and then the recap for Vision. I legit think this is what this was in a different way. Like, okay, yeah, I know what Loki went through. A lot of it was just scenes that I've seen before, and I'm just watching Loki watch it, and it's like, okay. So that didn't really, impact me too much. And I like what Rod said exactly. They really did shake up the Marvel Universe to its core in a very strong way. That we haven't really seen that in a while now, actually, right? Where they mentioned that there's been multiversal timelines before that were at war, and then
shit blew my mind.
That was dope, exactly. And then it got merged, and then the timekeepers, these three lizard gods, kind of make sure it's all in peace, and then they have the time variant authority to make sure it's not happening. So that's a cool premise. But my one of my issues with the show was, one, it was a comedy. I'm like, I wasn't expecting a comedy. Like everything was a joke. Everything's like not serious. Everything's like, oh, look at how funny, how ridiculous it is, which it makes me then not care. Like, do those time variant, those like timekeepers matter, or are they a joke? Right? It's like I don't really care much for that. It was just too much of a comedy. Too much revisiting the past. I'm like, yes, I know all this. I went to the fucking theater to watch this, and all just for it to then. I thought it was a very good setup. It's a good setup. I'm like, I hope the rest of the season is gonna be great. That we don't have to see things, because even, for example, we had this one awesome scene at the beginning that I was excited from the trailer. That apparently Loki's DB Cooper. Right. For those out there who might not know, it's a one of the biggest like heist type of historical that actually happened. Some guy got on a plane, I think it's in Seattle or somewhere in Washington, and then stole fucking money and shit, like hijacked the plane, and then eventually jumped out of the plane and was never found. And it's like one of those big like mysteries like that. And they showed us in the show that it was him, that was Loki. But why did they show us that? Just because he lost up, because it was a scene telling us the past of Loki, and that this was a prank, because he lost a bet to Thor. And it's like, oh, okay, it's funny, but it's like, I didn't want to watch a comedy only, it's like, okay. And
but that's
what?
Now I was gonna say, that's the thing, like I think like you're focusing too much. Is like, how does the saying go? Like, I think that you're missing the forest for the trees. Because like, all right, so peep game. So what they're showing you is, yeah, you didn't like that whole DB Cooper thing, but it's showing you that like the Asgardians are so fucking powerful that altering the course of history to them is a joke.
No, but they didn't alter the course of history. They weren't
yeah, but
traveling in time. So it's like they were just doing themselves, and that's it. And we know, like we know Thor's been on Midgard on Earth before and been like a god to the Vikings, and it's like, okay, it's just a funny scene. Like it had nothing to do with the story. Like it's like, okay, right.
But it also,
what would you
like,
I have one last big ass fucking critique to make that actually I don't think you guys haven't seen. Then this whole the whole funny thing, like, look, it's this time cop kind of bureaucratic center. Yeah, I've seen that before on Netflix with Umbrella Academy. They did it better. Umbrella Academy focuses all of that. Number 5, the character from this is created by Gerard Way. He travels in time with his powers, and then there's the commission in Umbrella Academy, which is exactly this. That's their job, to maintain the timeline and make sure nobody fucks up. And the big thing with them, it's all super bureaucratic. It's a bunch of paperwork and all these kinds of things. And I'm like, I just saw that, and I saw it done better. Also, because in the comic books, the time variant authority isn't such a big thing. It's not, I don't know, something I don't really know too much about. And I think for me that, like, we've had, 2 seasons of Umbrella Academy already? So that felt for me was like, come on, this is way too similar to it. Way too similar. Like, well, all right, there's nothing new here. Like, it's fucking ripoff to Umbrella Academy. So it's like, okay. So
yeah, the Jupiter's Legacy effect. Right?
What do
you
mean?
You know, after seeing Invincible, Jupiter's Legacy was a piece of shit because we already saw
Jupiter's Legacy was a piece of shit without
Invincible.
Hated. Had Invincible never come out,
and I'm just playing, but
no, but that's a good point. That's a good point, exactly.
But back to Loki. So I didn't see that perspective. That's a good point. Like, I didn't see that part of it. But for me, it was more. Here's why I loved it. It didn't really have to do too much with the TVA and their like crazy like authority, and yeah, they're kind of goofy in a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of way. It was more his analysis of Loki, because you know, we've seen Loki in cinematic format for years, in these very brief moments of deviousness, which I thought was fucking hilarious. I actually enjoyed watching all of his, like, a montage of the best of Tom Hiddleston as Loki. That's what you're getting in this episode. Is true. It is like the first episode to like kind of bring you into the lore. But I thought him reacting to it and him answering his questions and then questioning himself and feeling powerless. Yo, this shit added so many layers to the character that it reminded me of Netflix. And not just that, this is the first show that I feel like this is what I wanted out of these shows. And I think this was the first show that was supposed to come out, or no?
No. It was, I think WandaVision was the first one. Oh no, I think or Falcon was supposed to be first, but Loki's after. No, that's a good point.
Yeah, I just like that analysis of the character. I don't know. These characters can be very one-dimensional, and they gain qualities in the movie, but then the show really puts a lens on them. And I thought this lens on Loki's character and his motivations was fucking awesome. So I'm gonna give it a 9.
What was your rating, Miguel?
All right, so I haven't given it yet, but but I agree exactly with some of the things you guys have said. I agree, because I do agree the acting was superb. I love that everybody acted fucking their asses off. The script's a good script. Every line was a good line. I didn't love that it was all just such a comedy, because then at the end, I don't think does it even matter? Like, am I supposed to care? Because I don't right now, right? Because even with the big reveal at the end that they need Loki to capture this other time variant who's been eluding them and killing the other members of the TVA, it's Loki himself. It's like, okay, like, all right, I guess. Like, I hope I'm trusting Marvel and Kevin Feige that they're going to make it more interesting. because on the contrary to what you're saying, Rod, like you wanted something to resemble the MCU. I think for the shows, I want something different. Like I don't want the same thing. That's why I love WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, because they were different enough that they grow the character. I'm still hoping that the rest of the series is going to be good, because I feel this had to be the setup. It was all a setup.
Yeah,
it's all just setting up what's the story. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But I'm like, all right, I wasn't really entertained. I'm gonna give it a 7. This first episode, like whatever. I might even give it a 6 actually, but I don't know. I think
gotta settle.
What does that
Gotta
give
settle.
us?
Oh right, we got
what
to
is
figure
it?
it now, right?
Is it a 6 or a 7? What did you give it?
What did you give it, Rod? You gave it a
9.
10.
You gave it a 10. I'm gonna give it a 6. Let's be fucking honest.
He's an outlier.
So all right.
8.3.
8.3, yeah.
8.
All right. 8,
All right.
not bad.
Stop being scientific.
Yo,
Why is he the Joker I never knew I wanted? Like, I think take a step back, fucking Joaquin Phoenix. Like, all due respect, but I felt like if he ever wants to do another film or franchise, which he probably won't, he probably like really live with this character for a very long time. But damn,
Loki life.
He was just so good, and he's jacked, and his range is crazy. The agent even questions like why are you this way? Like, why are you so grandiose? Why do you think you're always winning? And I just thought that was just so cool. Like, because I never thought to ask those questions of the character. I just thought he's the mischievous guy, so he's gonna be mischievous and sometimes heroic. And ultimately, like as a fan, we root for him and shit. And I felt like I was rooting for him this whole episode. So even though it was funny, I did feel like his fate was like limited. Like he was meant to be wiped out, or so they make it seem. Right?
Yeah.
There's smoke and mirrors.
But I love how like they hit him with the soul crushing sentence when he was in the room. Like, your purpose is to be defeated over and over and allow others to reach the best version of themselves. That is the antithesis of what he believed his reality to be. Straight up black and white. And the one note that I want to take is real quick. Going forward, I think that Marvel better. I mean, not even that I have to say it, because fucking it's Feige, but they're treading on with tectonic plates. So we're dealing with the TVA, which they use Infinity Stones as paperweights. Just I'll leave it there. Then now we're getting the Eternals movie. So it's like we're dealing with a massive order of power. They're gonna have to explain what lies where. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who are the Eternals in relation to the fucking Time Lords? Like, shit's like, it's crazy. Like, those giant dynamics have to be explained.
No, exactly. And that's a big thing. Exactly. They have to really explain. They've done such a good job at really the world building with the MCU, and see where this falls in all of that, right? Because as we've seen in this episode, Loki has no powers there, right? And even they make jokes of the Infinity Gems, right? The Infinity Stones, that they're just paperweights, and they have them from different like timelines, and they have the cosmic cube, the Tesseract. It has no power, and so immediately dwarfs everything we've seen before in the MCU. And it's like, what? So it hopefully they explain it, in a way that where does this all land? Because exactly as you're saying, because now you're building the Eternals. So then it's like, wait, do they not matter? Is this more like what's all this? And as we've talked about before, like we know Captain America's a variant technically, because he stayed in the past. Like, I hope this open. Exactly. We'll see what happens, right? Like I don't know.
And I'm glad you brought that up too, because I like that as well. So within the TVA, like throughout most of this episode, you're in there with Loki, right? He's their prisoner. And they have Infinity Stones just lying there. And I thought that was a great scene as well. I loved it. But outside of the TVA, they're killable, because at the very end of the episode,
oh yeah, you're right,
we see like this shrouded fucking dark Jedi fucking Lord character. Like, he just sets some TVA guys aflame until the episode ends, and we're led to believe by the agent that that's another variant of Loki. So
right,
that's
really
what we're
that's what we're led to believe. No,
yeah. So it's like they're all powerful in their jurisdiction, but outside of it, like they're not. So how are they gonna get this guy and whatever?
Yo, word.
sold.
That's dope. I'm down to fucking get that explained and like see all that.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yo,
Fucking
but
missing the forest for the trees.
speaking of Captain America, this is something I didn't know. I've been seeing this pop up on Instagram and fucking Twitter a lot about apparently there's people, tinfoil hats on, people, everybody right now, fucking
Go for
3 a.m. shit, that apparently there's like a Peggy Carter cameo on the show. There's that scene where I think he's being brought in. I think that's right at the beginning he's getting brought in. That in the background, you see them bringing in another variant and has this she has the variant como se dice uniform that he gets too, but she has this old school hairstyle that a lot of people have said that it looks very, very Peggy Carter-ish. What do you guys think of that?
I think I saw that. Way. Didn't they bring in another prisoner too? That it was somebody like aside from Peggy Carter, like it was more than one, wasn't it?
Well, there's that one guy that we saw got fucking killed. It just destroyed. Erased.
No. But I think that just like Peggy Carter, they brought someone else in the background. Like that happened more than once. But yeah, dude, the scope of this show, when you really think about it, it's too crazy. All right, it's just a show. If you really want to just admit it, the scope of it is bigger than Infinity War.
Damn.
Wildin'.
Think of the beginning.
The
beginning of the show states that there was an interdimensional war of the timeline,
multiversal war. Which actually, then with that's what a lot of people. That's the other thing are saying. That remember, what's the next big film besides Black Widow, which eventually we'll see
with the multiverse of madness.
Exactly. Yo, so multiverse of madness. There was a multiverse of war about the timeline and shit. And that confused me because it's multiverse and also different timelines, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's cosmic chronology.
Yeah, right.
No.
The multiverse exists, right? Anyway, or it doesn't, and it's all just one. I'm like,
variants create the multiverse, right? If the TV doesn't according to the show, Loki episode 1 at least, if the TV doesn't apprehend the variants, they branch off into more infinite fucking timelines or multiverses and shit. So that's their job to keep it all as one stream,
bro. And I just wonder if we let's keep going on that fucking rabbit hole, right? If variants create the multiverse, so we're assuming there was one universe, one timeline, and the first variant created the first timeline. Who would be the first fucking variant? Is Kang the Conqueror fucking going to be introduced soon? Ant-Man Quantumania.
Word. And also I just realized an explanation to the Captain America thing that they're gonna smack us with. They let him rock because he put the stones back. They're like, you know what? You cleaned up the mess. Go ahead.
Dang, you're right, because they did make that comment in passing, right? Because when Loki was like, I'm not the criminal here, it was the Avengers. They did the time travel shit, and that's why I'm a variant. And they were like, that was supposed to happen. So it's like, oh shit. So you're right. Maybe that's why they're letting Captain America chill.
I wonder if the Russo brothers knew that there was going to be a Loki show when they wrote that scene of him getting the cosmic cube and vanishing.
Feige knew all of that.
Yeah,
Feige knew.
Feige knew all of that.
When Feige did Iron Man 1, he knew this was happening now.
Yo, you took the words out of my fucking mouth.
Yo, which makes me really hyped for the Kang the Conqueror now.
Yo,
basically this show reignited my MCU, because honestly, MCU is awesome. It's hit after hit after it's unbelievable what they've done. It's the #1 grossing franchise of all time for a reason. But I felt like Endgame and Infinity War, that combo was so amazing that I feel like I'd be shocked if they ever top that, but I wouldn't put it past the almighty Kevin Feige.
Yo, they're fucking reaching, bro. Just look at where they're the Eternals, the Time Masters, Shang-Chi. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but let's just throw that in there. Yo, they're going further than the Infinity Stones. That's what I'm saying. They better tread carefully, because shit, one slip up could throw off all their calculations story-wise.
Yep.
Like, but
Feige,
it's
no.
Feige. It's Feige. Fuck it.
In Feige, we trust.
Hashtag infallible Feige.
Yes.
Shit. And on that note, man, I'm gonna go on Amazon and get some thumbtacks, a cork board, and some red string. I'm gonna Pepe Sylvia the shit out this show.
Yo, we should. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Cut shit, man. It's crazy. And on that fucking, I'm Trez. I can't. Bye, guys.
I'm Miguel. Peace.
All right. Peace out, people.
Later.